right, thanks for tuning back in. Firefighter Golf, Captain Steve Pope here. Previous video I was in with Dr. Kelly Eaton is the adjustment video. So this video is about acupuncture and how it relates to PTSD, anxiety. I'm just going to hand it off to you, and you can run with anything you want to talk about with what else acupuncture can help with.
Okay, the list is endless, honestly. One of our textbooks is about this thick, and it just kind of goes through. I mean, it even has hemorrhoids in it. But what we're talking about today, it's like depression, anxiety. A lot of things that come with that is kind of overeating or undereating. We can kind of affect that, your mood. But a lot of times, whenever you are depressed, anxious like that, body pains comes with it. So we can affect all of that. The way I like to practice is I work on the ear. You can access everything in your body through your hands, feet, and your ear. So I do auricular just because it's honestly easier. My patients don't have to get undressed. They don't have to be uncomfortable. They can just lay here. And like I said, I can access everything in the ear.
Okay.
I started going to a program that I absolutely love. It's a test that measures the energy in your meridians. Now, I guess let me back up and explain kind of what acupuncture is. Acupuncture is, the best way for me to explain it is if you can imagine a whole bunch of rivers going through your body, and it's basically rivers of energy. Everything's made of energy. And so if that energy gets stagnant in one area, it starts to have problems. So if you can imagine a creek in your backyard or something, and it gets kind of, it's not flowing as well.
Like a beaver dam.
It's just nasty, creeping crawlies, and So that's what happens in your body, but it affects you in different ways. So even if you're having knee pain, I might have to put an acupuncture needle in your foot or somewhere else, but a lot of people that confuses because I'm not exactly going for the spot. But like I said, we're going upstream, we're going through the river and just making sure we're basically undamming the energy so it can flow freely throughout your body.
Okay, so explain to me what meridian is. You said that word and I was wondering.
So, a meridian is basically kind of like when I was talking about the streams of energy that is going through your body. They're basically channels. And here's an example. Obviously, this is on top of the skin and this is underneath the body. But they go through all your vital organs, and that's how they're named. So this one's like kidney, stomach, and they kind of zigzag through, and they go all the way around.
Okay.
And they match. They're mirrored on one side versus the other. And they just go all the way around. So this is why I'm saying it does get a little bit interesting when somebody's complaining about knee pain, but I maybe put the needle in their ankle or something like that. But as you can see, the meridians, they go all the way through the body. And I was also telling you earlier how everything ends in your feet, hands, and ears. And this is just an example. A lot of the meridians, the ending points are in the feet, hands, and ears.
Okay, and is that what you're kind of going to show me on the program?
Yes.
Right, so here's the meridians. Get a little bit better view of that. Mm-hmm. He must work out.
So what I'm going to do to him is I'm going to actually test the meridians.
This is a PG channel.
I had to remove it from my office. It was at the front. All these little kids kept coming in. I was like, okay, we need to move this. It was a thing for a while. So basically what I'm going to do with the program is measure your energy from your fingertips and your toes. And it's going to give me a readout of basically telling me where it's stagnant. And what I love about this program is I can change it to where I can work on your whole body or I could just work on your ears. So again, I always go with the auricular.
So a little story before we get into the needles is, as you know, I've come here to get adjustments, and I've mentioned before, father is a retired chief. And so we were discussing what I'm doing with this channel, and you related a story to me about your dad coming home and interacting with you. So tell me the story you kind of told me, what you can remember.
So, and I always tell everybody, I was a teenager, so I was probably a little bit hard to deal with. But I know that as my dad kind of went up in the ranks, he, at home, it was a little bit shorter, like not as much patience. And I completely understand, because in his role, he has to tell you what to do. There is no arguing. There is no second guessing. You just have to do it, and lives are on the line. So I completely get that. But it was very hard for him to sometimes flip that switch and deal with a grumpy teenage girl or something like that. So his fuse was a little bit shorter. I think, tensions were a little bit higher. It wasn't like we were walking on eggshells whenever he was there, but we were definitely much more aware of our behavior.
Right.
And whenever I didn't jump to it, or I didn't have my homework done, or my goodness, if my room was not clean, I knew about it, and he was pretty strict with us on that. So, but I get it. But
so when you told me this story, it hit home with me. I've shared this with you guys in many other videos. My wife behind the camera there, my daughter, and my son. It hit home. So, for me, in this journey, it's about trying to separate my work life from my home life and have a better life, knowing the stresses that are going through my mind. So that's why I want to do this acupuncture, is to give you another way to overcome stresses in our life, the anxiety, and give you another outlet besides you being self-aware of what's going through your mind. That might not work it works for me, but this might be something else that works for you. And some of you might not want to go to a mental doctor or a psychologist, whatever. This is just a good way to get other information out there. So, all right, let's get right into the test we're doing now.
Yeah.
All right, I got my feet ready. I don't know karate, but all right. So I'm sitting right here.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what are we doing here with this test?
Okay, first you get to hold this, and this is basically just a ground.
I thought this was acupuncture, not shock therapy.
It's electroshock therapy is my favorite part of it. I didn't say I was going to be nice to you. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so now I want you to actually turn your hand around.
Rested or?
I gave it to you wrong hand.
Okay. I thought this was, no.
I don't know hey, I'm just a doctor. I don't know my left from my right. No, I'm just kidding.
Do I need to take that ring off?
Nope, you are just fine.
Am I going to get zapped?
Okay. No, this is very, very simple.
Why are you doing it in that part of the finger?
So that's right where the meridian ends.
Okay.
On each one of these. All right, now switch hands for me. Okay, same thing over here.
That one was louder.
Yeah.
A lot more energy in that hand, or?
Yeah. So you're seeing how you're not symmetrical on one side to the other. So one is flowing a lot more on one side than the other.
So do you think the left one is because of the injuries? And
it could be. It'll actually tell us here in a minute.
all right, I'm excited.
And on all these high ones, it'll actually have me come through and we'll retest it just to make sure it wasn't a misreading. Anything like that.
So now we're doing my feet, as you can see on the monitor. Kidney.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's not registering.
I know.
What's BL for?
Bladder.
Yeah. I pee a lot at my age now, so there we go.
There we go. All right, so other side.
SP's what?
Spleen.
Spleen. Is that liver?
Uh-huh.
That one should be good. I don't drink much, so. What's ST?
Stomach.
We had chili 2 shifts ago, but
This is gallbladder. Kidney. bladder 67. Okay, so the purple means that you are not balanced between your right and your left. Okay, green means you're pretty, that's a normal. Blue means you're low, red means you're high. So you heard those, so that means that your energy is high. Now this is on both sides, your right versus your left. So yeah, on these purple ones, you see how you're, well, not on all of them. So some of your lefts are much higher than your right. So you're just split between one side and the other.
Okay.
Okay. So
what, with the hand, what's the LU? Because I went over the foot ones. But.
So they're kind of the same thing. I'll actually give you a list of all of them, so you'll be able to see. Okay, so now what we do, this is the fun part. Here's the treatment. So it tells me exactly what the points are, if I'm going to do them bilaterally, and then what they're for. And the report will give you all of that as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is the fun part. All right, so you want to lay down, you want to take off your hat. So this is 0.0. Okay, so the needles. They're each individually wrapped, so I have to take them out. And then there's a little, it's stuck to the side, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but what I do is I have to break it. And then when I put it on the skin, it'll go down. It's almost like a guide.
Okay.
So that way, whenever I push it in, it's only going to go in that far, and I didn't even break this one. So I'll do it to my hand so you can tell. Well, actually, let me show you the needle first. They're teeny tiny.
Yeah.
They're extremely small. So then I put them in the guide. And like I said, if I put it on the hand, it's only going to go in that far. And then that's it.
Swing.
So, yes.
Thank you.
How was that?
Didn't really feel it.
Now, a lot of the points that I've come up with you, I think it's interesting because this one, it's for ADHD, focus, just all that stuff, which is part of it.
Right.
Now, this
How many
one,
points is it giving you to give? Put on me.
9
9.
total. And that'll be on both, like 9 on each ear. Now again, this is not a one-time fix-all thing. It's something that builds on each treatment. So what I like to say is, like, if your cup's full and your anxiety is just so much, and if one person tells you to do one more thing, it's like there's no way that you could do it. What this does is it just lowers your cup a little bit. Like, you can handle a little bit more. You're not as anxious. You're not as basically overstimulated. It just calms you down. It just takes a little bit out of your cup.
Okay.
And that's why I always tell everybody you want to build on that.
So we're doing this on both ears?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, let me check on this because your mask might be in the way just a little bit. No, we're good.
Okay.
Right. What's so scary about that guy? I kind of forgot about that. Now, once the needles get in, what we like to do is we just leave you in a dark room, normally with some nice music, blanket if you need to, but we leave you in here for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
After that 15 minutes, I come in and I just kind of twirl them. I'm basically just stimulating them, just kind of activating them, and then you're in here for another 15 minutes. I normally tell everybody, like, just fall asleep, relax, meditate. Think about what you're going through, because you want to set intention for your treatment. Some people, if they don't feel comfortable with that, that's fine. Just try to clear your mind and just kind of just calm down, take deep breaths.
Okay.
But other than that, there's no other participation except just laying here. So pretty easy treatment. All right, now we're going to move on to your other side.
So it's pretty much the same spots on this side.
Yep.
So for the sake of editing, she's doing the same thing on the right ear. So this is the first time getting acupuncture for myself. So what's the follow-up on this? We were just talking off camera about it's kind of like a stew.
Yeah.
So explain that.
I like to explain to everybody is if you're a big giant pot of stew and all the ingredients basically, settle at the bottom. So what we're doing with these needles is we're basically just stirring it up and getting everything to move around. Like I said, the energy in the meridians. We're just getting everything to move. That's our goal. And it normally takes about 24 to 48 hours for it to kind of settle down into its new position and into its new orientation. So this is not something that is just like instant. It builds. It builds on the last treatment. So
if there's anybody out there that's interested.
Yes. So if you say you're coming in, but you have PTSD, but you're not functioning very well, I might need to see you probably about 3 times a week, and that's just so we can just calm you down and just get everything just relaxed. But if you're just kind of having problems with it, you're just a little bit depressed, I probably would only see you once a week. Okay. Because again, a lot of times whenever I tell people they have to come 3 days a week, that's just a whole nother level of stress. Financially, you probably have a job. When are you going to get off work? Who's going to take care of the kids? And that's not my goal at all. So a lot of times I just kind of work on people on an individual basis. I don't have a cookie cutter treatment, one size fits all, because everybody's completely different. Every situation is completely different.
Right. So for the people out there that might not be interested in acupuncture, before when we were talking about doing these videos, you were telling me about EFT, you call it, and explain what that means.
Sure. It's called emotional freedom technique, and it's extremely easy. You can go to a professional and have them help you with this, but this is something that you could totally do on your own. It's just a series of acupuncture points, but we're not putting a needle in them, so it's actually acupressure, and it's just a series of different ones. Now the main idea, and again I'm paraphrasing, but if you're having kind of I call it an episode, like an emotional episode, and if you're feeling down, you're panicking, whatever it is, you can do this. And what it's basically doing to your body is, say a lion is chasing you, okay? You're in your fight or flight. A lion is chasing you. You would not stop and do these points because you would die, okay? So basically what it's doing for your body is, if you're stopping, if you're panicking and you're stopping and doing these points that I could show you, your body realizes that you are not in true mortal danger at that time, and it calms your adrenaline down, and it balances out your cortisol, and it just kind of stops that panic from happening. And there's been some really cool studies that it says it decreases the anxiety or whatever symptom you're having by 50% in the first 10 to 15 minutes. And this is drug free as well. So you could do this in the car, like if traffic is getting to you, if you're just having a bad day, or if you just need to kind of calm down, you could do this. And the great thing is you could do it for anything. You could even do it for weight loss, but anxiety, depression, pain. If you're having pain in your big toe, you can do that for this as well. And again, it still decreases the symptoms significantly.
So for me, my jaw, when I feel mine coming on, where would my points be that you'd want me to, and how do you do it?
So, okay, for everybody, it's the exact same thing. And you can find this online. Again, it's called emotional freedom technique. There's all types of diagrams and everything. Okay. But at first, so this goes a little bit different than a lot of therapy lately, because now everybody's like, you have to think positive. You think positive, and it's like bad to have negative thoughts. Well, you have to honor those negative thoughts, and that's what this is about. So if you're you have anxiety, how you first start out is you pick one thing that you're going to work on for this first 10 minutes. And the first thing is, they call it the karate chop point, and you just basically, I do it with both hands, so that way it's working on both. And you talk about how you're feeling. So if you have anxiety, you'll be like, I acknowledge that I have this anxiety. But after that, you're just saying, I acknowledge it, but I still love and respect myself. Okay? And so you're going to go with whatever feelings you're having. I'm feeling depressed. I acknowledge that, but I still love and respect myself. Okay?
Okay.
So you're going to start off just like that. So, but that's just kind of priming your body to do it. Now, the points are above your eyebrows, right here, on the side, right underneath your eyes, on the top of your mouth, right there, on the bottom, right there.
And you tap them?
And you're tapping them. And then
how hard do you tap?
Right on the collarbone, and then I call this one the chicken wing.
Okay.
So you're just going to tap. You're not trying to hurt yourself or anything. You're just stimulating the points.
Okay.
And as you go through it, you're just, yeah, I'm mad right now. I'm really pissed off, and I don't know why. And you're just talking through whatever emotion. So it's kind of honoring those emotions, because we're not trying to suppress them. We're getting them out and exactly what you're feeling. Like I said, if a lion was chasing you, you wouldn't stop to do this. But if you're in traffic, like this traffic is really pissing me off, you know, you can just say what it is. Sorry.
No, that's good.
But and you just go through it. Now this point right here, it's basically at nipple level, right on the edge of your ribs, and you can feel it when you're on it. Hold on. Like it almost feels like a boil or a bruise. That's a good point too. That's just a really good stress point. Like if you're just kind of stressed, just start rubbing right there, and you feel it when you're on it. It's like a bruise.
Yeah, it does.
And then you just circle through those points, and you just do it for as long as you want. And then you take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale. And then you can move on to your next issue. But a lot of people have reported a significant decrease in symptoms just by doing that. You could do it in the car. You could do it walking. You don't have to say it out loud. You could just do it internally, like if you're with a whole bunch of people. So it's a nice little tool to have in your bag.
Yeah, I agree. So again, my mission's about getting information out there, especially here with you today. Getting this video out is just another way to overcome the anxiety and the stresses that everyone, especially with COVID, is having nowadays. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, here we are with the removal, and I'll tell you how it feels or how it doesn't feel.
So with each one, I flick it and then I turn it, and that's just to, again, stimulate it.
So the little flick and turn, stimulate one last time?
Yeah, exactly. Now, most of the time, people do not bleed, but there are a couple, that every once in a while just...
Alcoholics? Could be.
Could be. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it just brings so much energy to that area.
Okay.
It just bleeds. But you, it's not.
All right. I hope you enjoyed the acupuncture video. And so she's going to email me the results from... You explain that better than me. So
it's basically the graft that we showed you earlier, and it breaks down everything and explains exactly what each point is and what your symptoms are, if that's either stagnant or excessive. So like I said before, we're just trying to balance the body out. But it's in detailed enough that it'll tell you when you're having problems, like what time of the day or night you're having problems, what subluxation in the spine correlate with what you're experiencing, which again is chiropractic. It'll also go through the moods, and sometimes it'll even tell you what side of the body you're having more pain on, which, funny, yours was the left.
Yeah, the report showed the left, which is my normal.
So, but I'm sure you could show them that. But it gives a lot of detail, and sometimes people are kind of overwhelmed with how much detail. But the good thing about this is that it keeps it. And so if we do another test and a couple treatments, we can compare and see, are we getting better, getting worse, staying the same. So we can also alter the treatment if we need to. It's just nice. It takes all the guesswork out of it.
All right, so I had to invite my friend back on the channel, to say his final goodbyes too. But Anyway, I like to have fun, and it helps me de-stress, to laugh, and so it's good laughing with you. And thanks for being a part of this to bring awareness to how chiropractic care and acupuncture can help our bodies get back to better wellness. Is that, if that's a true way to say it?
Yeah, that's great.
Both mentally and physically. So I hope you, my fans that are watching this video, enjoyed this. Like we mentioned in the chiropractic video, go seek help.
Yes, seek help.
In your area. If you are in Kansas City area, I want you to come see Dr. Eaton here. So,
but if not, go somewhere. Just go somewhere.
Yep. So anyway, be self-aware what's in your mind. Try to overcome the stresses that are pushing down on you, and that's how I've learned the best through this whole process. And just again, you just got to understand and try to understand what's going through your mind. If not, seek the help that I'm trying to give you the information. This, I'm providing this information for you so you can seek help elsewhere. So anyway, love you all. Appreciate it.